All right, recording now. So we're gonna have to stop all that swearing that we were doing earlier, okay? Mrs. Pierce?
Yep.
Okay. So what, we just talked about what minimum wage is, but can somebody really like concisely say it for me really quick? Triton.
What the government requires companies to pay their employees.
So the least amount the government requires its employees or employers to pay its employees per hour. And we found out that was $10.59 for Minnesota. Did you know that it's actually a different amount for the United States? So, anybody know if the United States generally is higher or lower? Yeah? It is lower. Do you know how much it is? It is lower than that. Yeah, Triton?
$7.25.
$7.25 for the United States. Now, it is required that, the rules are that whichever one is higher is the one that your state has to abide by. There are some states where it is written into their state constitution that it is lower than $7.25, but they have to go with the government trumps all, and then, or the government is the baseline, the U.S. government's the baseline, and then the states can make it higher if they so wish, which Minnesota has. So certain states, they do have $7.25 as their minimum, but nobody's lower than $7.25. One more thing, there are a couple jobs out there where actually they can pay you less than minimum wage. Do you know what jobs those are? Triton?
Service, so like interesting,
Mhm.
bartending.
Yep, anything that you are expected to get tips, essentially, that they can look at the average amount of tips that you're supposed to get and then pay you far less. So like if you're a waitress or a waiter or a bartender, you could make $5 an hour. But some people who, like if you are a waiter or waitress or a bartender at a very fancy place, you can easily make over $100 an hour. Okay, so it depends on the place you're working and what the working conditions are and what you're willing to do. So, all right, gross pay. Anybody know what that is besides disgusting pay? Yeah?
Pay before taxes.
Yes, okay, so this is your pay before they take out, and I'm not just gonna write taxes, I'm gonna write deductions. Because some things aren't taxes that are taken out, but they are taken out of your paycheck. Raise your hand if you've gotten a paycheck, and this is where especially comes in people who actually have, I'm not gonna say real jobs, because there's a lot of real jobs out there where people are just handed cash for their jobs, especially if you work for your family. But raise your hand if you've ever gotten a paycheck and you've seen like that amount you should have made, and then you look at all the things that they've taken out of there, and then what your paycheck actually is, and your paycheck is way lower. Yeah, okay, those things are deductions. This is money taken out of your paycheck to pay for various things. Triton.
So what's an example of a deduction besides taxes?
Like your company, you could be contributing to your own retirement fund. That could be a deduction. You could be putting money away every month, like as your own choice, into like a savings account. Yes.
So like at some jobs, if you like break something, don't they like take it out of your paycheck?
Yep, that could be it. That isn't necessarily happening every week, hopefully. But insurance is a big one, so your health insurance, or your dental insurance, eye insurance, that kind of stuff, which are all PS separate. You're like, health insurance, that covers it all. No. The dental insurance and eye insurance are usually separate things. Yep. Withholding, and that would be taxes. So withholding is taxes. So let's maybe make a quick list here. There's taxes, there's insurance, there's retirement. If you're in the union, you got union dues. What are some other big ones? Holding, medical insurance. Huh? Repairs?
If you happen to break something.
Sure, yeah, I mean, I think that is something that I would list here,
That's
but
a
it's very
situation.
uncommon,
It's a situation.
yeah. I
Well,
think
these are, happen every
these happen every time, yeah. If you're in the union. If you're not in the union, you don't have to pay union dues. And if you don't have a retirement account, you don't have money taken out for your retirement, but everybody has money taken out for taxes. That's guaranteed, and we are in a state where they require you to have certain kinds of insurance, so that will be taken out that way too. All right, a net pay this is what your paycheck actually is. So basically, if you take your gross pay and you subtract the deductions, then that equals your net pay. Okay, so we're gonna do one quick example, and these are numbers that are realistic. You can decide where you're gonna put this. I would suggest in your notebook, like as if it's a notes. It's just gonna be one example. You could also put it on the back of the sheet if you want to, but definitely write it down somewhere, please. Okay, let's suppose, I'm gonna write this down. We'll say that this is a net pay example, and today is 2/3. Okay. So let's suppose that Bryce is working where? Where you wanna work? Pick a place. I'm gonna pick something stupid if you don't pick something. You want me to pick something stupid? Okay. I'm gonna say that you're probably working at the zoo.
So stupid, that's actually fantastic.
Yeah, and his job is to clean up all of the animal pee and droppings, yeah, that have been happening, but also to cuddle with the best animals. So it's an either way, right? Like some things are horrible about your job, but then also like all the otters need pets, and like that's your job, and that is A+. Oh my gosh.
My
Somebody
sister
was
would
like,
say it's a
Laura,
lucky trick.
I need you to pet some otters really quick. I'd be like, guys, there's an emergency. I have to leave right now. All right. So he's working at the zoo, and his take home, his gross pay this week is $225. But then he sees these things on his paycheck, something called FICA, which says $17.21. There's federal withholding. And that's $25. There's state withholding. It's $4.50. And his insurance. And that is $1.15. So that's how much they're taking out of his paycheck this week. Okay, real quick. Insurance is medical insurance. What's